The mighty Waikato region has so much to offer. From amazing walking trails to the home of the Hobbiton movie set. You can do cycling, there is great food and a whole lot more. And you know what? On a day like today, it also, with the beautiful weather here, showcases a world-class motorsport complex that they call Hampton Downs. Good afternoon, everybody. Greg Rust, Rihanna Crean and Andrew Waite with you as we get set to bookend what's been an amazing day in the Repco Next Gen NZ Championship. The headline act, the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Trophy. The cars leave the pit lane now for the second race of the weekend. Can I come to both of you? I think it's probably fair to say, A, you're loving being a part of this, but B, it's hit you, the international flavour of this series.
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon, Rusty. Good afternoon, Andrew, and everyone watching along at home. You can just look at the flags above us, just how widely the drivers have come from all parts of the world to be here and race this weekend. I went for a little bit of a walk before, and I'm blown away the sheer amount of support for Yaven David, our Sri Lankan driver. There are Sri Lankan flags everywhere you look, which is just so lovely to see the support for him, and he's been so engaging with the fans. He is absolutely loving his time so far here. And
he will start this race from pole position, and that is because, Andrew, for the second race of the weekend, we do a little something unique with the grid, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We reverse the top 8, which really changes things up a lot and how the weekend works, because it's not so plain sailing for everyone. And as we've seen over the last few years, this reverse top 8 race really makes or breaks championships. If you get this wrong, if you're not patient enough, this is where things can really unfold and go against you for your championship. So they're a really, really key race.
Starting alongside even David on the front row is Zach Schooler. Can I just come back to you very quickly, because we saw his performance last year. We know what he's like. This is a great chance for the runner-up in last year's championship, isn't it?
This is where we learned who Zach Schooler was here last year, with how fast he was and what he did for this championship. So I don't think we've seen the best of him this weekend. I think he'll have a really good shot at this one. If he gets a good start, I think he'll be hard to beat throughout this race. So he's driving really, really well, and I know he really wants to make sure he gets a podium out of this one for sure.
I know there might be an international flavour to this, but there's a huge amount of pride from both New Zealanders and Australians wanting to do well in this series. You caught up with Ryan Wood before. Gee, it was a tenacious drive from him in race 1 today,
yeah,
wasn't
absolutely.
it?
And I spoke to him after that race and just wanted to understand what it was like for him behind the steering wheel, and he really enjoyed the push to pass, and we saw that come to effect, getting that pass down late in that race. And I think that he certainly came on later in that race, and I think that he'll play a factor in this one, starting out of P5.
Whether you're watching on Fox Sports in Australia or Sky Sports here in New Zealand, if you missed it earlier today, the first race of the season in CTFROT, as we affectionately know it, was won by the young Kiwi who'll compete again in Formula 3 this year in Louis Sharp. But he was joined on the front row and by the pole sitter, who is an emerging star in the world of motorsport. Time to meet him now.
My name is Ugo Ogachukwu, and I'm from the United States of America. I started because of my dad, mainly. He used to do karting, so he got me kind of into that. Made me try one weekend in upstate New York. And yeah, I really enjoyed it from the first time. Wanted to go back the next weekend, and then it all started from there. The favorite thing about motorsport is the competition, how close you need to be to the limits, and yeah, really having to perfect corner by corner to be as quick as possible. Winning the Macau Grand Prix has definitely been one of my biggest achievements so far in motorsport, mainly because it's such a prestigious race, has a really great history behind it. So yeah, I was really proud that I was able to win that, and meant a lot to me. Yeah, I'm racing in New Zealand because I think it's a really good championship. Start of the year, of course, so keeps us kind of sharp and ready for main campaign back in Europe in F3. And yeah, I think it's also a great experience here. The tracks are a lot different. I think I can definitely learn a few things here and bring that over to you know, the rest of my career. My motorsport goal is definitely to get to F1. Max Verstappen right now is doing the best, and I think he is at his best. That's the goal. But yeah, I'll try to take it year by year, of course. You know, focus on this season here in New Zealand in F3. Try to do the best possible job I can, and then I'll see where next year takes me.
It is fantastic to have him playing in this championship over summer. In the same breath, we welcome back Zach Schooler, who in Topor at the opening round last year let everybody in this sport know just what he was capable of. How's things been going so far?
Yeah, no, things have been going all good. Unfortunately, a few mistakes in quali stopped us from being a bit further up, but you know, we're in a good position here, so excited to see what we can do.
I can see already from you, you are eyes fixed on turn one. I'm glancing here. Is this mum on the board at the front here too?
Yeah, that's my mum.
Lovely. So, what's the plan of attack here, and do you feel like push to pass? What impact has that had? Are you enjoying that aspect of this?
Yeah, I mean, in race one, like, it helped quite a bit. We made a move with it, so I think it's made things a little bit more competitive, a bit more strategy to everything, of course, so it's just another thing to manage.
Cool. Welcome back, mate. Hope year two is equally, if not more, successful. Zach Schooler, let's go to Rihanna.
And the man who will start this race out of pole position, Yevon David, welcome to the series. I was mentioning before the sheer amount of support I've noticed for you across the weekend as I look over there. Huge amount of support with Sri Lankan flags waving. It must be nice.
Yeah, honestly, I really didn't expect it coming to New Zealand. It's a new country for me, but to see the Sri Lankan support and all the fans' support, it's meant the world to me. Only fuels me forward for the race, so I'm very excited for the weekend.
Tell me what you learned out of that opening race that you can use in this one.
Well, definitely offline it can be very dusty. You want to stay on the inside line and definitely be very consistent. It's a long race and the lap time to find is little by little every lap. So just being consistent is actually the biggest difference maker. So that's what I'll be aiming for.
Yevon, we really appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
The team at MTech are total pros to the point where they've been keeping Louis Sharp, our race one winner, cool with the fan while I started talking so that he doesn't get too hot here while we're up. Hey, mate, well done. Firstly, awesome way to start this championship at home. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, definitely a really good way to kick off race one. I think it's an awesome start to the campaign, as you say. Bit of work ahead of me now. Obviously, reverse grid, got a few spots to try and make up. But yeah, really thankful to the whole MTech crew for giving me an awesome car this morning.
How difficult is that mission when you can see the 3 rows of cars in front of you, knowing the quality of the drivers ahead? How hard is that to pick them off in a race like this?
It is really tough. Also with the aero wash as well, getting close enough to make overtakes is difficult. But you know, it's not impossible, and I'll definitely be going to go forwards.
All right. Before we let you go, support at home means everything to you before you head off to F3 this year. Who's this young fella you got beside you here holding the umbrella?
Got quite a good, handsome young lady actually holding my pit, what do you call it? So no, really thankful to him though. He helps me out a lot.
Cheeky. Dad helping out. Let's go to Rihanna.
De Rivera starting this race out of position 6. It feels like the wind has just started to pick up. How do you think this is going to impact in this race?
Yeah, for sure it will impact the headwind on the front straight and then the crosswind on the back straight. So yeah, it will be a fun race.
After the first race, using the push to pass for the first time, did you feel it was something that you can really use and lean into to make these passes happen?
Yeah, the push to pass is great. It makes the racing much more fun. And yeah, you do really notice when you press the button and you feel the more power.
I really appreciate your insights. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're thrilled to welcome outfits like Hi-Tech TGR this season and now HMD Motorsport with TJ Speed. And one of their drivers is James Wharton from Australia, who's also been overseas competing in F3. Cool to have you across the ditch here in New Zealand. How are you finding things?
Yeah, it's definitely been a little bit of a struggle so far this weekend, but with the new team, we're learning every day, and hopefully tomorrow morning we can do a bit better quality and start more up the front where I think our pace is, to be honest.
Okay, you're hurrying me up. Go well, and we'll give him the thumbs up. He's off. We're clearing the grid. Time to go to your commentators.
Thanks, Rusty. Yeah, James Wharton will look to make some progress in this one. Interesting to get the feedback from the drivers about the push to pass and its effectiveness in race one and how that will adapt and how they'll learn to use that further as we get set for the second race. This is remarkable. The 6th drone cam showing a massive group of fans supporting our pole sitter for this race. Yevon David from Sri Lanka, the first Sri Lankan driver in the 21-year history of what is now Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Trophy. He's in the blue and yellow car. It's on the right-hand side of your screen. Andrew Waite alongside me. There's a remarkable vibe about the paddock, but this is one of the unexpected joys of the weekend so far as we have a look at our location in the world and zoom in to the North Island of New Zealand and about 45 minutes to the south of Auckland, the capital. Just cross the border into the Waikato region and we find Hampton Downs Motorsport Park. It's a beautiful venue on a beautiful day, and it's a racetrack that provided some challenge to these drivers in race one earlier today.
Yeah, it certainly did, especially that second sector of the track down from turn 1 all the way to turn 7. That's where a lot of lap time is made up, and that fantastic passing opportunity down into turn 9. Great pass to get a move done. And also turn 10, we saw some interesting lines through there to be able to create some passing maneuvers. Fantastic track here as these drivers will be looking down the main straight towards turn number 1. It drops away, you can't quite see where the track goes, and then you've got that massive run down towards turn number 2 before a hard, big braking zone.
Awesome vibe here today. Great crowd in attendance spread around the park, and as we touched on, some real national support. Yes, there's a lot of Calais Rovan-Pera fans here, but the Sri Lankan fan base, it's like we're at a T20 International, the Black Caps against the Sri Lankan cricket side. It's a really good vibe, and they were out in force at the autograph session earlier today. One of the Red Bull cars has stalled on the grid. Is that Rivera? He's not going anywhere. The young man from Mexico in one of the 2 Red Bull cars. The second one is Phil McLaughlin, a little bit further back down the field, the Irishman. He's got that car fired and drives away.
Yeah, lucky to get it fired because these cars, they do take what we call a slave battery, where you plug that in to make it start up. So he's lucky to get that fired back up and underway without any further issues. So he'll be able to regain his position as we take a look at the grid.
So a reverse top 8 of your race 1 finishing results, which means Evan David starts this one from pole alongside Zach Scholar, second in the championship last year. This is an opportunity for him to get some points. Freddie Slater and Jin Nakamura out of 4. Ryan Wood out of 5, which is exactly where he started race 1. He ended up in 4th. Ugu Iguchuku out of 7th. The race 1 runner-up, and Louis Sharp, the winner, out of 8th. Ernesto Rivera, 9, and James Wharton, 10. Yuanpu Tsui out of 11, and Seb Manson, the young Kiwi, 12. Phil McLaughlin, we mentioned there in the 33 car for High-Tech, out of 13th, and Nolan Alla, the American from HMD, from Giles Motorsport, out of 14th. Then Jack Taylor, Ricardo Baptista, Calais Rovan-Pera, and Trevor La Tourette rounding out the 18. Cooper Shipman was the only DNF in that field early on, and word through from the Toyota GAZOO Racing camp that car number 24 will have to start this one from the pit lane, which is Ernesto Rivera, the 17-year-old Mexican, confirming rear of grid, in fact, on account of not getting off the line in time as the rest of the field had already passed. So Ernesto Rivera will start this race from the back of the 19-car field.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough one for him to take, but rules are rules, because you let one do it and then all sorts of different things start happening. So unfortunately for him, he will take his position off the back of the grid, and his team will be reluctantly telling him on the radio that he needs to back his way off and go to the back of the grid, as we can see them getting ready, preparation for the race start. This is one of the most crucial parts of the whole race, making sure that you get in your grid position properly, lining up there, making sure you're in first gear, getting that clutch in, feeling the bite point just a little bit, seeing if you can see the lights, seeing where your competition is.
And Zach Scholar will have learned from what Louis Sharp did in race 1, where he started from that outside line. It's the gripped up, rubbered up side of the road, though, the outside of the starting grid, that you can commit around the outside to turn 1. You're just pointing out that he's a long way forward in his grid box. It's not international FIA rules in terms of the starting, where they can put the front wheels on the white line. The whole car has to be behind that white line. The judges, in fact, will look at that. Regardless, on a beautiful afternoon, just on 27 degrees here in the northern Waikato region in New Zealand, race 2 in Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Trophy. Left of screen is Evan David, the first Sri Lankan to race in the championship. On the right, the Kiwi Zach Scholar, runner-up last year. Away we go, and it's the Kiwi with a better start. Comfortably will lead into turn 1. Nakamura looks down the inside, around the outside, side by side, and loses the spot in the end. Nakamura back in position, but Scholar leads them down the back straight for the first time, and the freight train commences immediately. Weaving around, Freddie Slater going the long way round. Big move, Freddie Slater. The Brit made a really good start. He's already got ground, and he's going to try and squeeze up the inside of David, who shuts the door. They're side by side through turn 3 and turn 4.
That is a massive start by Freddie Slater there. Just got a little bit too aggressive at turn 2. Didn't quite get the car stopped in time, and then that dropped him back an extra position. So that brings Nakamura up. He's had a awesome start as well, already up into 3rd place.
Into the double Bs, the pair of left-handers that's been challenging everyone this weekend. So Slater for a moment was second, now he's back. Who's that spinning in the background? James Wharton. Or is it Sharp? Is that race 1 winner? No, it's James Wharton. You were right the first time. So car 13 pointing in the wrong direction at the double Bs. And if he cannot get that car fired, it may well be stranded. Feisty opening lap, brilliant start. Zach Scholar leads them down to the final corner to the sweeper for the first of 18 times.
Louis Sharp has a little bit of a look up the inside of Ryan Wood as a safety car is deployed. So at the same time that happened, Louis Sharp just made the move.
Yeah, they'll need to check
Ryan
that.
Wood,
They'll need to check that.
Yeah. At the same time, it wouldn't be on purpose, whatever has happened there as well. It's because we see the lights, you're so focused on the battle. So it's going to be up to race control to deem where the yellow lights came on, where the safety car was deployed, whether or not Sharp had already made the move, or whether or not Ryan was ahead. So they'll be frantically looking at that right now to determine who's meant to be in which position.
Yeah, he was alongside by the time the boards and flags were flown over the start-finish gantry and around the circuit here at Hampton Downs. So the Toyota GAZOO Racing Supra safety car leads the field for the first time this season, as shown by the drone cam, thanks to Sixt. That's the scene on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. So 2 from 2 so far. Second position leads into turn 1. Is there anything in that in terms of starting from the rubbered up side of the road?
Seems to be, because it is that, as you said, the rubbered side of the road, the more used side, so it's not as dirty, so it allows a better start. But either way, Scholar, that's a massive start from him. Freddie Slater, and 3 wide if you look a bit further back with the others behind Louis Sharp, and then Freddie Slater here nearly had the move done. At this point here, I thought he was in. I thought he was up into second, but at this point he just overcooked it just a little bit, got out of it, and then that tightened him up a bit too much and allowed Nakamura through.
Massive commitment on cold Pirelli tyres to sail around the outside there. Then this is Ryan Wood going side by side with Kanato Lee in the battle in the final corner, and then this was the moment where James Wharton unfortunately was caught out on the second part of the corners. They dubbed the double B, turn 6 and 7 here at Hampton Downs. So the TJ Speed with HMD Motorsport squad, brand new to the championship. Great to have the American team here with lots of experience in the Indy Next Championship, the road to the NTT IndyCar Series. Cool to have them as part of this championship for the first time. But for James Wharton, unfortunately, he's running, but he is 19th and last in this one.
Yeah, at least there's a safety car, which is allowed to pull him back onto the field, because if he didn't get that safety car, then he'd be just way down the back and out of any action. But it's kind of worked out well for him there. Sit there for a little while, let the safety car come out, and then, oh, thank you, I'll join to the back of the queue. But it's, I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose. It's one of those things that's worked out very well in his favour to be able to close right up again.
That cold tyre commitment from Freddie Slater was pretty impressive. And then behind it, there was a 3-wide battle. Louis Sharp was on the outside at turn 1. It was almost sort of run off the road. Not deliberately. Ryan Wood was on the inside of him, but that was pretty exciting stuff at the start. It proves how crucial the start to these races are. Getting track position early is absolutely critical.
Yeah, really, really important thing. And 3 into 1, especially in turn 1, doesn't quite work. And, you know, for Louis there, I'm sure he didn't want to be stuck on the outside there, but you've got to stay committed at those starts, because the moment you roll out of it, someone else is only going to take your spot, and that's when you end up getting swallowed up. So you can do all you can in a race, you can plan as much as you want, but as soon as starts happen, everything changes. Different cars go different directions from what you expected, and you just sort of got to think on the fly and make the right decision then and there. Here's your ride, Richard.
No, that's Rusty's.
Yep, copy that.
That's Rusty's. You get that from successive go-kart racing, apparently, as you get an opportunity for the private transfer. Speaking of private transfers, if you're planning to come out to Hampton Downs, if you're within the region tomorrow, Liam Lawson will be here. He'll be on the ground in the afternoon. There's a signing session set up. You'll need to be early to get in that line to meet and greet New Zealand's current Formula One star, but a graduate of CTFROT in the past. So really cool to see Liam here. I bumped into another former ace of this championship before. not talking about you. Daniel Gaunt is here as well today, just checking in, flying the flag. Another legend of Kiwi open wheel racing. They're all out and about in the paddock this weekend.
Yeah, well, Daniel Gaunt, he still has the most race wins ever for this championship. So shows the calibre of people floating around the paddock here being part of the weekend. So pretty cool to have Dan, and his names are on a few more stats there too.
They are. 20 career wins in the championship for Daniel Gaunt. El Bamber on 17, Andy Knight 15, Mitch Evans 14. You're not in the top 10 there on that list.
Too many to add.
You're just outside. It didn't quite
Just
make
outside. Just that. That's it. You're onto it.
So another learning experience now for these drivers who will experience their first safety car restart. The GR Supra safety car will pull away. The question for mine, do you get on the push to pass if you're the leader, if you're Zach Scholar? Are you on the button the moment you get your foot to the ground? Because otherwise, you could be a sitting duck down at the bottom. Oh, it's a lap, isn't it? Yeah, well pointed out. So the push to pass doesn't start for a full lap after the restart. So away we go. It doesn't matter for Scholar because he got a really good run out the final corner. He nailed the restart. So too did Jin Nakamura, who'll go side by side. Where are they at the control line though? He showed as being passed at the control line. And then David goes through again. So now he's under pressure. The second of the high-tech cars is in the mix as well. So too Freddie Slater. Yvonne David still clinging on to second place, the pole sitter.
This is perfect for Zach Scholar out in front, able to just get into it, and Freddie Slater again side by side with Jin Nakamura there. Oh, they touch on the exit, but this gives the right line to Freddie Slater up the inside. They still side by side. Great racing by these guys. 5 corners now. Kanato Lee, the podium finisher from race 1's in there too. They almost bump wheels again, side by side for 6 corners now. And finally, Nakamura holds on to the position. It's taken so long, and now Louis Sharp is buying into this. Car number 11, blue and black, FT60, fighting on, and Ryan Wood on the outside. Busy after the restart. Ugo Shukwu there, he's still sitting in position number 8, so that shows how competitive it is. The fact that he's still sitting there in that position, and Ryan Wood still in this battle as well.
Feisty stuff. This is all allowed Zach Scholar just to pull away out in front. Look at Wood going to send up the inside on the 19 car of Kanato Lee. He's got damage. His front wing's gone. His front wing's missing. That's race over. All the front downforce will disappear from the high-tech car. He's going to have to go to pit lane, and he will get that replacement. He will be right at the back of the field.
And Ugo Shukwu, who's on the outside as well of Louis Sharp, trying to go the long way around, able to use the push to pass now. Is he going to activate? He can see the light is on. He's gone to the left-hand side. That extra 25 horsepower. Is it going to be enough to go around the outside of Louis Sharp? He's got the move done.
Sharp looks down the inside of the 4 car, squeezes down there. Can he get past Ugo Shukwu after the battle for the race 1 win? Squeezes in wide on the exit with some oversteer, and Sharp will get another position. Seb Manson's in the mix. What racing this is. Nolan Alla in the mix as well in the Martini car behind Yuampu Chue in car number 5. He's in 9th position. This is 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, all the way down to Theo McLaughlin in 13th position in the Red Bull car.
That was world class by Louis Sharp to throw it back up the inside. He was at that point over a car length behind, and then Shukwu now, Ugo Shukwu, he's up the inside. He's now got the move done. These guys are fighting super hard. They know this is an important race. Rusty.
Boys, I'm led to believe that Motorsport New Zealand Race Control may be looking at Seb Manson in the wake of the incident for James Wharton. So the TJ Speed with HMD Motorsports crew have worked on a question mark about whether there was contact between them. We've seen some good battles between Aussies and Kiwis over the years. That is maybe what's unfolded there. No dramas for Wharton's car, though.
Bledisloe Cup, Rusty, thank you. No further comment on that from me as we see a battle side by side. Red Bull back drivers, Kalle Rovanperä and Ernesto Rivera. Rovanperä up to 11th place through all this skirmishing. It's been a really good start for the Flying Finn, who's a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1. And this will cost him because Rivera's going to get a great run and will get down the inside. Manson, meanwhile, has to defend from Chue, who is looking to go around the outside. Alla is in the mix as well.
You can see Rovanperä there. He actually reacted with a push to pass as well once he got wide, because as you go wide onto that curb, you actually bottom out on it, so it's hard on the tub over those curbs. So he lost a bit of time on the exit, and now he's getting swallowed up a bit by that slight mistake that he's made.
Jack Taylor got up the inside, but the way this circuit works as they go through the undulations and into the double B, Jack Taylor couldn't quite get that move past in the number 50 car. That's the white car with a red nose back of shot. And just in behind that is Phil McLaughlin, the Irish driver, and then James Wharton on the rebound after that lap 1 spin back to 16th position, so already up 3 spots. So we take a deep breath. Race 2, Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Trophy for 2026 has been breathtaking so far. Zach Scholar is out in front by over 2 seconds now. Yevon David still holding on from Jin Nakamura. Freddie Slater is next. Ryan Wood in 5th place. And here's the battle for 2nd. Nakamura gets down the inside on the Sri Lankan driver. Has he got the pass done this time? Or will the fight back occur down here at turn 2? In the toe, in the slipstream. Nakamura's got the racing line. David with a really good run, possibly on the push to pass. The Japanese driver sliding around, but a right front lock-up for the Sri Lankan. Bowls it wide. Nakamura holds on to the spot.
Yeah, he does just. You can see Nakamura there, a little bit of lock in the rears initially, but they were super deep into there. And Yevon David there with that bit of a lock-up as well. Now under all sorts of pressure by Freddie Slater as well. And just to recap that restart as well, all clear. Everything's all okay, A-OK for that one. So got away by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, they've got all the tools in Motorsport New Zealand race control to measure this stuff as Slater looks down the inside now of the Sri Lankan driver, and they go wheel to wheel again. There's been a lot of that in this race. Up over the crest, the car gets light, and that's why they often lock brakes in that big stop down the hill into the Porsche Dipper. David holding on. Slater looking around the outside. This is for a spot on the podium in race 2. And he holds on, David. This is good racing, and Ryan Wood is right in this mix as well. So in comes the man from Wellington, the Supercars racer. Look at the double toe they've got going on here on the run down towards turn 1. Wood's going to try it on Slater, who immediately jams himself down to the inside of the road and covers his line.
This is fantastic racing. The reverse top 8 race. It is all go. As there has been a drive-through penalty issued as well for car number 22, Sebastian Manson, for little incident on turn 1 with Wharton there, so that's obviously been deemed his fault. So just underneath our commentary position, hear him roll on through. So it's been done for that one, but as the racing continues, Freddie Slater, Ryan Wood, and the next in behind Yevon David now is Ugo Shukwu.
The vastly experienced racer Chris Pither, who's raced these cars, who's raced supercars. He's contested the Bathurst 1000. He's the driver's standards advisor for CTFROT this summer and has been so for some time. Hugely experienced guy and very rational and in his approach in making judgments about what a driver is doing and then whether it requires a penalty or not. So they're all over it in race control, and having someone with Chris's experience is massively valuable to these drivers.
Yeah, he's very, very good at that role, and I think an important part of that role is gaining the respect from your competitors when you do make a call, that they understand why and what goes on, and Chris is very, very good at that, and being fair, reasonable, and of course Chris wants to see as much racing as we all do as well. He's not trying to penalise everyone for every little thing, but obviously the safety is in mind as well, and very, very good at that role. So as we see this battle still unfold now, Yevon David under pressure once again. Tough race for him. It's sort of like that, Richard Crowell, when you get into this position where you're in the mirrors, you end up stuck in your mirrors. You can't get your rhythm going. You're constantly focusing on the next car as you go there. He's gone right around Yevon David there, nice and easy, and got that position back. So this is where Yevon David now needs to try and settle in, get a rhythm, and get his race back together so he can focus on what's happening in front. You got one of the fastest guys in the field in front of you. Head down, focus on what he's doing, and push on.
Ernesto Rivera just leaving the pit lane from the M2 competition camp, so the Red Bull car back on the racetrack. Out the back, Kanato Lee has set the quickest lap of the race at 1 minute 30.6. Why is that important? Well, the combined fastest laps from this race and race 1, terms of an average will set the good for race 3 tomorrow morning. So you need to show race pace. So it's been a bad race for the Japanese driver in terms of having some damage, lost his front wing, dropped to the back of the field. But in clean air, out in the back and not in these remarkable battle packs that we've got going on, he's been able to set the quickest lap of the race. Manson into pit lane as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Manson back in pit lane, so whether it's a puncture or maybe because now his race is more or less done and dusted, he's come in to get those tyres off the car to save him for another race tomorrow because, you know, when you're stuck down there in those lower positions, there's not much more you can do there. What a move by that Freddie Slater.
Ryan Wood tried to send it round the outside at turn 1 because of course he did. And Slater now finds himself defending left and right. Woody on a charge for a podium in this race.
Yeah, Ryan Wood, we know how competitive he is. He pushes on super hard. He's aggressive when he needs to be. A super talent. And here he is, all over the back of Freddie Slater.
Slater's car moving around a lot. He was really aggressive in the opening laps of this race on cold tyres, so I wonder if he used up the goodness in those Pirellis early in this race and is starting to pay for it late. These are the hottest conditions now we've seen all weekend in terms of ambient temperature and track temperature, which is over 40 degrees now. So it's hard work, the tyres clinging on. They're driving these cars hard, and there's been so much action in this one. They've had to work hard. So this is the battle for 3rd and 4th place. Freddie Slater, the young Brit, who's hugely experienced and successful in Formula Regional cars around the world, and Ryan Wood, the Supercars racer, looking to get himself on the podium. Zach Sculler, by the way, now 3.1 seconds, cruising away out in front from Jin Nakamura in 2nd position.
Yeah, he certainly is. Ryan Wood, is he going to be back on the push-to-pass button to try the outside move once again? Not quite close enough this lap. Rihanna.
Confirm your thoughts about both Ernesto Rivera and Sebastian Manson coming into pit lane. I question the team into competition. Yes, they are going for fast laps. It's a strategic pit lane stop.
Yeah, thanks, Reed. Nicely done. And that's going to be a really interesting element of the championship this year, is if your Saturday race is no good, throw tyres at the car, see how fast you can go, and get yourself up the grid for Sunday morning so you can salvage a bad Saturday with a good Sunday. As we see Jack Taylor looking around the outside of Kalle Rovanperä. This is for 10th position in the race. Taylor 10th, Rovanperä 11th. He's building some racecraft now. Phil McLaughlin is in the full Red Bull livery car in behind as well. This is a really entertaining little battle pack. We're starting to see Rovanperä getting racing. Rusty?
Rich, can I just add to Rihanna's comment there? I'm at the other end of pit lane with TJ Motorsport, TJ Speed, I should say, with MD Motorsports. They brought both James Wharton and Ricardo Baptista in, held them for quite some time, 4 brand new Pirellis on both those cars, and then released them into clear air. They too are chasing lap times.
Guangpu Shui slowing down from 8th position. Is there a mechanical issue on this car? Limping by and was gobbled up by that big battle pack. Nolan Alla goes through, Jack Taylor, Kalle Rovanperä. McLaughlin is limping his way back to pit lane. A really solid top 10 run for the young Chinese driver who's come out of F4 racing. As we go back to Evan David, who spent his race with someone locked up under the rear wing of the 21 car. And Nolan Alla is going to get down the inside at turn 1. The Martini car for Giles Motorsport goes forward.
Yeah, great move by him as well. As Evan David there, he's still just struggling, isn't he, to find his rhythm. Drops down another position there.
He certainly has got some experience in battle packs in this race, Evan David. There's no doubt about that. He has fought really hard to hold on to positions while this battle continues. Kalle Rovanperä inside the top 10 now. We'll get to the bottom of what happened to the young Chinese driver's car, number 5, but limping back to the lane.
There's been a few lockups from Scholar out ahead there, because I thought a couple laps ago, I heard it through earlier, there was another lockup as well. So he's still certainly pressing on, because as we're talking about, you've got these drivers coming in, putting new tyres on to get faster laps. So you can't just settle into the lead of the race and enjoy that and manage a gap. You've still got to put hard laps in to make sure that you get yourself up the grid for the next one. So the way that this championship's designed, there's no rest time. There's always something else to be focusing on, with it being so action-packed with 2 races a day.
Now, further back in the field, it's not spectacular wheel-to-wheel racing, but we've got a bit of a fastest lap off going on, because there's a bunch of drivers well out of position that have stopped and put new tyres on and are trying to set the quickest lap of the race or improve their lap times. Among them, Seb Metz and Ernesto Rivera. Kanato Lee, remember, pitted for that front wings to set the quickest final sector of the whole race. He's up to 15th position now, so making up some ground. So they're all going after quick lap times. Yevon David, again, this time it's Jack Taylor, the young Aussie, looking around the outside at turn 2. Bumpy on the outside of the road there. That corner, it almost awkwardly tightens up, doesn't it? You get the car turned in and then, oh, hang on a minute, I'm already at the exit.
Yeah, it's a very, very difficult corner. It sort of just keeps coming back on itself, and you got to set yourself up for the next corner after that. This whole sequence, it's really from turn 2 all the way around to turn 7 and 8. You've got to be on the right line the whole way through there. You make a mistake on one of them, it upsets the rhythm all the way through that section. It's a really, really important part of the track.
This has been a good drive for Jack Taylor, 17 years of age, from Launceston. Beautiful part of the world down there south of Victoria. Remarkably, though, he's spent almost his entire career racing in Europe, so this is as close to home as he's raced, which is remarkable. So a 3-hour flight away from Lonnie, and this is as close to home as he has been, but doing a nice job up inside the top 10 here. Had a couple of wins in British Formula 4, GB4 last year, so he's gaining some experience, gaining some ground, and running P9 at the moment.
Yeah, again, it just shows the level of this championship that he's been racing on the other side of the world his whole career, and makes his way back to New Zealand to be part of this. And you really get that sense, don't you, that these drivers genuinely want to be here and they genuinely want to prove themselves amongst this championship.
Yeah, really positive vibe as Ryan Wood looks up the inside of Freddie Slater. This is for third. He was on the push to pass. Slater was wide, had to sacrifice some entry to that corner and had a big slide through the middle of turn 2 as a result. If that was a supercar, Ryan Wood would have gone down the inside there, but there are no guards to bang on in CTFROT Racer.
Yep, there would have been a little bit of brake clearance, a little bit of a tap, but you certainly can't get away with that in these cars, and it just only helps hone your racecraft as well. Rihanna.
In the pit lane with MTech Motorsport, the guys are going to work. They believe there was some contact, so it's a right front tyre arm that they are trying to get on top of at the moment.
Thanks, Reed. Here goes Woody around the outside. Another brake lock up for Freddie Slater. He's under massive pressure from Ryan. He's got good drive out of the Porsche dipper into the final corner. This is where he has been super strong all weekend, and Slater's going to have to compromise his entry to the corner a little bit there. Turned in from mid-road. Ryan Wood will get a great run out, and he should be locked under the rear wing of the 27 car in front.
And that's the thing, he couldn't even use his push to pass him because that 100 seconds from when he last pressed it hadn't quite lapsed, so he wasn't able to take advantage of the position he was in and use it again.
And while those two have been battling, Ugochukwu cruised up to the back of them in 5th place. So we're starting to get a little form guide, aren't we? We're only 1 3/4 races into the championship, but there's some names that are remaining in the top 10 in both of them. Zach Scholar out in front, 2.5 seconds, just managing that margin over Jin Nakamura, who's had a really solid debut in CTFROT. Freddie Slater is third, but he is under pressure from Ryan Wood. He's got a couple of laps to try and find his way past and score his first trophy in an open wheel car. Ugochukwu in 5th position. Louis Sharp is 6th, the race 1 winner. Nolan Alla in 7th place. It's been a really stout drive for the American to climb up the order well into the top 10. Yevon David in 8th, Jack Taylor 9th, and Phil McLaughlin in 10th, but he's still got Kalle Rovanperä right behind him, though that is a swap of position for those two. The Irishman has gone past the Flying Finn to score that position. As we look a little bit further back, there is Kalle, and that position's
switched back.
It has. So McLaughlin has dropped back to 11th place, and Rovanperä back in the top 10.
I just feel like this sort of feels like the calm before the storm brewing right now, doesn't it? Those 3 drivers a bit further up, Freddie Slater, Ryan Wood, Ugochukwu. I feel like those guys are about to get amongst it with only 2 and a bit laps to go for this race.
Here we
Ryan
go again.
Wood, is he going to get on the push to passes? He's gone wide. I doubt he'll use it at this point now because he's already affected his exit. The same time there, it looks like Slater got on his one as well, the push to pass, so that gap's opened out just that little bit more.
Yeah, and Ryan knew he was compromised immediately. He didn't even bother trying to zigzag down the back straight to stay in the tow. Abandoned the attempt that time by on the push to pass, but going very, very slowly further down the field.
It's like some sort of issue with that car going on. It was doing it a bit earlier on too, and obviously some sort of fault going on, warning to cars behind with the flashing light as well. Multiple meanings for the flashing light. The technology in these Castrol Toyota from the regional Oceania cars, trophy cars, is certainly really ramped up over the years. These engines are so reliable, the amount of time they get out of them, and they're just so efficient as well. So that, you know, what they're doing with them is pretty cool.
That was Hampton Sway, so he's back down in 19th position in car number 5. So it's been a challenging race for him. Fastest lap still being traded a little bit further back, and Rivera and Wharton have all got into the 29s now in this race, despite these very warm conditions. So they're pressing on a little bit further back. Remember, fastest laps count in CTFROT. They effectively are positioned for race 3 tomorrow morning. 29.8 last time round for Wharton is absolutely flying in this one. Rivera's gone quicker at a 29.70. 29.9 for Canato. Lee's got pace as well, but right now Rivera with the quickest lap of the race, which will help him climb up the order for the race 3 grid tomorrow. Ryan Wood still 4th. This battle with Slater has taken a little breather, but we saw in race 1 how quickly he could get back to the car in front, Ryan Wood, and that's what he'll be working on now for an attack on the final lap of the race.
Yeah, I'm nearly wondering if he's making the most of that gap as well, just give himself an opportunity to better his last lap time as well. As the first race, we saw some of the fastest laps were happening right at the end of the race, especially for Ugo Shukwu. He did his fastest lap on the very, very last lap. So these Pirelli tyres, they hold on, and you're still able to punch out some very fast laps at the end of the race.
We're about to start the final lap of this one, race 2 in CTFROT. It's been a really interesting day, really racy day this afternoon in particular. The depth of competition in this field is outstanding. And if you win races in this championship, you know you are right up there. And on that point, Arvid Lindblad won the championship last year. He went on to race in FIA Formula 2 alongside F1. He's got the Red Bull seat alongside Max Verstappen. He certainly didn't win every race last year in this championship. So these drivers know they can beat him. They know that they're in the right position and that they too could be in Formula 1 in a couple of years' time, or IndyCar, or wherever their career may well take them. Final lap, 3.8 Ks remaining for Zach Scholar.
This race last year, this round was where we discovered who Zach Scholar was. A fast, young driver who came flying onto the scene here in New Zealand, and once again out in front. And as I said earlier on, if he's out front, there is going to be no stopping him, and there is exactly that at the moment. He looks in control, looks like he has this all wrapped up.
Second in the championship last year, he chased Will Brown all the way in the 69th running of the Napa New Zealand Grand Prix at Highlands as well. Couple of race victories, runner-up in the championship, had never raced in New Zealand before last summer. Based in the UAE in Dubai. But as you said, it was a real welcome to country for Zach last summer. He announced himself. He's got the Tony Quinn Foundation backing on the side of that car. And MTech Motorsport are having a very, very good day at the office, and against one of the strongest fields of international drivers assembled in this championship for years. Saturday, well, today for the locals, Kiwis are going to win both races. Zach Scholar crosses the line and wins race 2 in Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Trophy. Jin Nakamura's had a great day at the office as well. He's second, and Freddie Slater holds on to grab 3rd place. The Brit, great drive, defensive performance against an aggressive Ryan Wood. Ugo Shokwu after P2 in race 1 grabs 5th in that. Now race 1 winner Louis Sharp, having started 8th, gets to 6th position. What a day at the office for MTech though, that is huge.
Yeah, it is. Great start to the championship for them. Some very, very strong drivers in the camp for them, taking out race 1 with Louis Sharp, and then race number 2 with Zach Scholar. So fantastic job by the MTech team.
Comprehensive performance. It all came down to the start. I think you want to start second in qualifying for the feature race. We'll see that tomorrow morning, local time, confirming results thanks to Allied Petroleum here at the Hampton Downs International. Zach Scholar, the winner. The margin in the end, 1.7 seconds. There was some management towards the end. Freddie Slater and Ryan Wood next. Kalle Rovanperä just missed out in his first top 10 finish, 11th, but a really racy 11th for the Finn.
That's a massive step up from where he's been in that first race to where he is in that race. He just even looked more racy, and these are going to be the moments that he's going to have. He'll have moments where there'll be light bulbs and we come on and he goes, right, this is what I need to do here and there, and bang, this is where we're going to see the improvement from him.
Some good drives further back too. Cooper Shipman in 12th position and Trevor Latourette in 13th. Personal best finishes for both of them. Kanato Lee took the front wing off that car early and had to pit, and so too did everyone behind. Highlights, race 2, Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Trophy. It all came down to the start for Zach Scholar. Brilliant launch from the outside of the front row. Led the field into turn 1. Oh boy, though, it was racy behind. And how about this from the young Brit Sharp in car number 27. Committed all the way around the outside of turn 2. Very nearly pulled off an enormous move and then had to work hard for it for the rest of the race. But from the start, the young Kiwi was in front, but it all teed off behind.
Yeah, it really did. Ted Manson ending up with a penalty at the end of that one with a drive-through for the incident with Watson there. And the race got back underway. Once again, Freddie Slater and Nakamura there were pushing each other. They were side by side for 6 corners, battling and arguing for position number 2.
The racecraft was outstanding, wasn't it, at the pointy end? Really high-quality racing, wheel to wheel. Gachukwu passing his way forward. This was a repeat of the battle in race 1. Huge moment for the 12 car getting up the inside of Yevon David, the pole sitter. The big slide. They were moving round. Ryan Wood was on the offense on Freddie Slater, and they had a terrific battle. Feels like that was Woody's opportunity, but got it a little bit wide, and that cost him an opportunity to get onto the podium.
I think he knew that was his opportunity as well, and that's why he got on the throttle a little bit too early in the end, which cost him that run to help him get up one more position. And there is your top 3 for race number 2.
Well, that was fun. Good race. Good race.
Brilliant race, and Zach Scholar there. He'll be happy with that one. Pulling off the win there, and it just looked commanding, didn't it, right from the start, Richard?
Yeah, real management as well. Got that margin out to just over 3 seconds mid-race, and then just measured that gap towards the end over Jin Nakamura at the end. They're down in Allied Petroleum Victory Lane here at the Hampton Downs International, and a terrific result. So MTech Motorsport get 2 race wins on Saturday, the opening day of the championship. Dominant performance for Bruin Beasley's team. He goes and sees Mum at the end of that for a hug. What a great performance. And a really impressive start to this championship, and congratulations all around to the MTech team. Let's go down and hear from our race 2 winner. It's in Allied Petroleum Victory Lane, and we'll speak to Rihanna Cran.
Thanks so much, Krause. A lot of very excited local fans here to celebrate their guy from MTech Motorsport, Zach Scholar. Congratulations. The pressure was on, but from the start, tell me how important that was.
Yeah, I mean, we've been working towards that launch. Got a pretty good launch off the line, and then sort of built up about 3-second gap at the start, and then just managed it from there.
Talk to me about the push to pass. What have you learnt so far today, and how is it going to impact the rest of this season?
I mean, it's definitely pretty vital, not even just because of overtaking, because of obviously the new format, race 3, you have the combined fastest lap, so you need to use it strategically to get that fastest lap, and yeah, it's all a bit of a learning curve.
I know you've got plenty of friends and family here to celebrate with you, so enjoy the celebrations on the podium. And coming in second place from High Tech Motorsport, we've got Jin Nakamura. Congratulations, Jin. It was a high-pressure race this afternoon. Tell me about it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had to set a good lap time for race 3. Yeah, we are on the half set of new on the left. So I think our pace was good, but we couldn't catch the top. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed for our pace, but I think it was good race and result.
When you're saying you're disappointed in your pace, is there a particular part of the track that maybe you're finding difficult?
Yeah, I mean, my start was good, but I couldn't overtake as early as possible. Yeah, I took a bit of time to up to the P2. Yeah, we will find and analyze for tomorrow's race.
Congratulations, enjoy those celebrations on the podium. And coming in third place from M2 competition, hailing from the UK, we've got Freddie Slater. Congratulations, Freddie. You had some pressure behind you, tell me about it.
Yeah, that was the longest race ever, to be honest. Too much pressure from behind, didn't really have any pace to answer, so we definitely need to do some digging overnight to find some more lap time. Yeah, obviously we maximised the result there at the end of the day, but there's still more that we can find.
I feel a sense of frustration at the end of this one, regardless of the fact that you're on the podium. Just tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, the podium is very nice, but the pace doesn't represent it. So we need to dig deep and try and find a bit more pace out there. And yeah, we'll do our best at what we can to find it. And yeah, we'll be working hard.
Appreciate your time. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Congratulations, Freddie Slater.
Yeah, great drive from him, but great drive, Zach Scholar, Andrew Waite. What a performance.
It certainly was. A fantastic performance by those top three drivers, and Zach Scholar there just managed to stay out in front, managed the race himself the way he did, and held that 3-second gap, but at the same time it's so important for him to set that fastest lap to help the grids later on tomorrow.
Let's go and celebrate that one, shall we? A great race, Rusty.
Richard, thank you. Time to get some important silverware out as we bring you the podium for the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Trophy, race 2 of 15 for season 2026. Delighted to welcome back to Mr. Paul McKenzie, the Castrol area manager, to deliver the trophies. Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation from the UK. In third place in that one from M2 competition, Freddie Slater. And now in second position, equally make some noise for High Tech from Japan for Jin Nakamura. And 2026 starts with a real positive for this man who made a huge impression last year. In first position for M-Tech, representing New Zealand, Zach Scholar. Smile, drivers. We'll let our media grab a photo here. And then all of you that have gathered very kindly at Allied Petroleum Victory Lane, how about putting your hands together and showing your appreciation one more time, your race to podium for the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Trophy here at Hampton Downs. And we'll let the drivers venture off and enjoy those celebrations with the teams. Getting a photo, Zach in the background there. Ree, come on in. We're going to wrap up the day here. That's pretty cool for that young man, isn't it?
Huge for the locals here as well. We've had 2 New Zealanders take out the victories in CTFROT, and I think what we saw in this second race this afternoon will really tell us what we're about to see over the next 4 weeks, because things certainly ramped up.
We get to do it all again tomorrow. 2 more races coming your way. You heard Rihanna and Richard talk about it in that race around fastest lap times and how they will help set the grid for tomorrow. We are currently crunching some numbers in conjunction with Toyota GAZOO Racing New Zealand. So we will talk about the grid for you tomorrow morning when our coverage commences, and you'll see a bit more of that on social media as well. But it's going to be a huge day with all sorts of classes. Have you loved it? It doesn't stop here in New Zealand. It keeps coming at you, the motor racing, doesn't it?
It's been an incredibly exciting day, and currently calculators have got smoke coming off them trying to work out exactly what the race grid is going to look like for tomorrow. But I think that's something we can really talk about for the summer ahead, using that strategic pit stop to put tyres on to get a fast lap to ensure that you can be at the front of the grid for tomorrow's race. Really interesting.
Saturday wrapped up with some awesome racing after that safety car period, the advent, the addition of push to pass as well. Lots to look forward to on Sunday. In addition to CTFROT and all of the classes that we have here, one Liam Lawson will join us. He'll be here to sign some autographs for the fans, so come on down if you're in the area and enjoy the Repco NZ New Zealand Championship, and come and meet him. We'll have him in the broadcast chatting with us too. Can't wait for that.
We certainly urge you to come early, because I have a feeling that the line to meet and see Liam Lawson will be very, very long, and he's only here for a short period of time, so make sure you are here at the gates nice and early.
Well done. It's going to be an awesome day. We hope you've enjoyed it wherever you've been watching right around the world. On behalf of all of the team, we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.